Walter, I love you, but sooner or later you're going to have to face the fact you're a goddamn moron.
Fucking leads are weak. You're weak.
Remember when America had a middle class and an upper class that was way before the Exodus? That was the America that we thought was number one, that would ever come, that would never die. That was just a pride and faith. Too better than these sins. I know faith isn't one of them, but it should have been. Cause when things are crumbling, we had no camaraderie, just to face the moment they were so despondent. We called it America, whoa. We called it America, whoa. Number one America was a slogan used to keep morale when we knew we were already cooked in the better Western states. Seceded in secession and the Eastern ones followed right behind. Mexican America was a perfect name that epitomized the order, significance, authority, and influence. We had turned it all around, went from number one straight to number two. We called it America, whoa. We called it America, whoa. Society, USA, dined and ditched. Fox reports, poor is the new rich. We called it America, whoa. 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 We called it America.
And that was NOFX. We called it America. You're listening to the American Voice Podcast. Stay tuned.
Town needs an enema.
Great. Well, hi. And welcome to the American Voice Podcast, episode 2. That's 2, if you're keeping track. First we had 1, and now we have 2. Hoping to have Frank on the show, but still waiting for him to come on the air. But meanwhile, I have plenty to go with tonight. So let's just get right to the shit. That's most people want to just get right to the shit. You can do a little intro if you want. Hi, my name is how's your day? This is how the week went. Crap, I don't want to do that shit. So I want to get right to the shit. This show, I thought for a few days about how this show is going to go since the last one 3 or 4 days ago, and it just actually, you know how it happens sometimes. It just throws itself upon you that you come across an obvious subject matter, and this has been one that I've been trying to avoid going because I think it's going to may step on a few toes of my listeners. I hope not. I know that I've stepped on some toes already. Me and Frank have with the, Bernie's done, let's get over it. Because I still see it on my wall pages and still see it on the group pages. And I have tons and tons of Bernie group pages. Oh, Bernie's going to still win the election. We're going to get him in. I love the enthusiasm. I adore it, really. It's what makes this country great, is people believing in something and grouping together. But it's been preordained. I'll agree with Frank on that. Hillary was preordained the next president of the United States almost 6 years ago. And if Bernie had came into the game a little earlier, maybe makes a bit of a difference. If the Electoral College wasn't so slanted and the DNC didn't try to undermine him, maybe a little bit of difference. Bottom line is that it wouldn't have made the difference enough to make him the nominee, and we get over that. I am still going to vote, by the way, for Jill Stein. Because I believe in voting the person you believe you want to be president, not the person everyone else tells you is going to be. That's not the way democracy works. And even if you want to consider it a lost vote, fine. Fuck you. I'm in Illinois. I have this little town in Illinois called Chicago. I could vote for Daffy Duck, and it wouldn't fucking make a difference because the Electoral College is the first problem we have in this country that needs to be fixed as far as our voice being heard. And I think we all know that. Your voice is not going to be heard until your vote actually counts, and your vote can't count when it's a winner-take-all state situation in the Electoral College, while in the general election, but while in the primaries, especially in the Democratic side, it is portioned out by percentages. And I can go forever on that if I wanted to. Donald Trump, I could argue, yes, it should have been done. No winner-take-all states made a difference. It wouldn't have. But, the point here being taken is your vote should count. And even if it counts in a losing cause, it should count. And in a general election, your vote does not count, even in a losing cause. Back on track. I go from place to place, and I apologize. I just have so much on my plate tonight. And as I said, this one might step on a few toes, even harsher than the Bernie's done. Get over it. If you want to vote for Jill Stein, more power to you. If that's what you want. If you want $15 an hour as the minimum wage, and even better yet, consideration toward a living wage, which is, by the way, a little different than a minimum wage. I can get on another rant. I will probably later on in the podcast on that. In fact, let's put that down. Yes, I want to talk about minimum wage versus living wage a little farther down in the show, and we'll talk about that then. But if you like the idea of doubling the minimum wage, and there are repercussions that come with that, we'll talk about as well. But if you like that idea, and you like universal health care, and you like free college tuition, and you like the idea of responding in a positive nature drastically toward a green planet, as much as that may be at this point moot, is still important, and it's important to you, and you don't want us meddling in other countries' affairs, not just in the political format of diplomacy, but as well as militarily, then I think Jill Stein is the person you should vote for. And I know that you're going to say, well, she's not even going to be on the ballot in all 50 states. What the fuck? She doesn't have a stand a chance. And again, that's not the point I'm trying to make here. The point is pretty easy. You vote in a democracy for the person you want to be your leader. You could be swayed by media and social media and the media on TV and the polls and all that crap. The bottom line is, when back in 1776, when our founders established this country, it wasn't about, obviously it wasn't about the media that much. How much media were you going to get back then? It was about who you thought was the best candidate. And we need to get back to that, regardless of whether or not the candidate can win or not. If that's your logic in voting for someone, you've missed the point of democracy altogether. Baby steps is how a third party will come to be. Baby steps. First, we have to get the voice up, turn the volume up, and then we get recognition. But all that aside, this is a subject matter that I just have to tell you. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about our country intellectually. What do I mean when I say I'm concerned about our country intellectually? Excuse me, I'm having some cherries tonight. I have to snack. Worked a long day, and I have to snack while I'm podcasting. And flush it down with a beverage, if we don't mind. And I realize you listening to this podcast means something more to me than you think. It means you have the knowledge in your head that there's something more than what I'm being told on TV. There's something more than I'm being told on the internet. There is an outlet of people who are not swayed by big business and corporations, and who can see the logic through the fog of the money to give you information and to give it to you in the way you need to hear it and understand it, that is positive toward you and not them. Them being the upper crust, the 1%. We always talk about, Frank talks about exclusively with the Rothschilds, the Bushes, the DuPonts, and the Rockefellers. These are the inhabitants of our nation whom took full advantage of the industrial era to basically implant their ideas and their policies on our country's constitution, if not actually just right there in words that were written in the laws that were passed through that very constitution that they had a great deal of influence on. Yes, I sound like a science teacher. Pardon me. Oh, fuck. I didn't want to hear that. You don't want to sound like that, because I could put you to sleep in about 10 minutes if I do that. Shit. I knew I went for political science in college, and it was like, WTF, what? I like the information. It's very interesting to listen to in a non-monotone voice, if you don't mind, teach. Obviously, you've done this fucking book so many times, you just sit there and memorized it in your head. Congratulations to you. I just want a fucking being move on to my computer science class. Thank you. Fuck. But anyway, back to a very respected individual I really follow and admire, Bill Maher, making a point on his own TV show on HBO about just how stupid our country's become, and getting a lot of flack, by the way. Got a lot of flack on Fox News when he was on an interview saying that. Bill O'Reilly upped his fucking ass for that. Went up his fucking ass for that. But again, that's Bill O'Reilly. And if you think Bill O'Reilly is the voice of America and the intellectual establishment that we should be listening to, well, then I just point proven. We're dumb. People are dumb. Not by choice. I mean, you don't say, I don't want to learn shit. I just want to go through life and watch Fox News, MSNBC, and that's my news. I go on Facebook. Everything on the internet's true. I believe in Bigfoot. TMZ is all about integrity. That's fine. You want to live your life like that. Hey, if it gets you through, and in the world we live in these days, what gets you through is kind of important, but it's really not that important. These things we now have decided are our information source used to be our entertainment source that we indulged when we were bored. If that makes sense. But anyway, I'm going to get further into all this thing. I just want to give you a subject for the show tonight. Frank, as I said, is AWOL. I think he's got some personal situations going on at home because he's not been on the internet very much lately, and I'm going to give him that space. He is still definitely my fellow podcaster, and I want to keep him on the show. And as we said, the format now is, and the title of the show has changed to American Voice Podcast. That email address is AMERICN voicepodcast at hotmail.com, and the format that we want to eventually, I don't know, what do we call it, sink into or become, is this format where we get other people to do what I'm doing right now. Get some shit off your chest. Say what you think's important. Make your statements. Make your case. It doesn't have to all be political. Would like it to be leaning toward political, but me and Frank can make anything political. You'll find that out very easily, and we can definitely use whatever 40 to. I'll give you. If you go 60, that's fine. I'm not gonna, boot you off after 40. I'll give you an opportunity to do your own podcast on this show. I had 6 to 8 listeners in episode 1, so we know that there are people out there listening, so they know what's going on here, and we're giving you an email address to send your podcast and be put on our show on the air. And not only that, we're going to give you opportunity, basically part of the podcast. You're going to put your little 40-minute to 60-minute rant, rave, bitch, moan, groan, complain, what the fuck ever, on, and then we're going to send to you what we are going to respond with, and then we're going to give you, and this is very, very nice in my opinion because it's my podcast, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond and have the last word. Because it's American Political Voice, American Voice Podcast. It's American Voice Podcast, excuse me. So, what would good would the podcast be if we don't give American Voice the last word? So anyway, I think I've ran it on enough. The first, I like to give a 15-minute intro, basically, to the episode. This is episode 2 of American Voice Podcast. We are on the air, and I'm very excited. I've got some very good music, some free music for you to listen to, some new groups, and I'm going to change the format as well. I feel bad. I haven't been giving credit to these groups that I'm finding on the internet, so I'm going to give credit to them as they play. And with that,
commit crime.
Some music.
That's not just crime.
Cue.
That's the way of the world.
There's something about a vandal's lust, the lifestyles of the scandalous. Ain't nothing like
America loves gangsters.
Look at all the angel dust, the cocaine and the cannabis. Ain't nothing like
America loves gangsters.
hates guns, but the man he trusts cause it's fun to watch cannons bust. Ain't nothing like
America loves gangsters. Gone off that gangster. Gone off that gangster. Gone off that gangster. Gone off that gangster. America loves Gottis, America loves bodies. Pacino counting Cinos for shooting up club lobbies, while 80 Nash controls bank rolls in Wonderland. Tony Soprano hits channels and holds down on demand. We wanna see it, and some motherfuckers gon' wanna be it. Others are doing numbers that breed it, bleed it, can't defeat it. But to political gangster, man, you gotta be high. Gave plenty of orders for slaughters, ain't swatted to fly. Modern day cowboys with shiny alloys for sidearms, hiding behind bombs, advanced cowards. In Jesse James ways, we handle the towers, guns blazing for freeze framing the king of New York. In the moments we face opponents, give thanks to gangster. Maybe place babyface Nelson and ranks to bank ya. Got enough angst to handle the handle and squeeze the trigger, but pop that in the city, it's freeze, nigga.
There's something about a vandal's lust, the lifestyles of the scandalous. Ain't nothing like
America loves gangsters.
Look at all the angel dust, the cocaine and the cannabis. Ain't nothing like
America loves gangsters.
hates guns, but the man he trusts cause it's fun to watch cannons bust. Ain't nothing like
America loves gangsters. Gone off that gangster. Gone off that gangster. Gone off that gangster. Gone off that gangster.
Danger, war. Load the tanks up in the name of the Lord. Give thanks for anger. More major paper. Gangster hits nerves and veins. Hearing words from pranksters. Anger, anchors, cinematic screen spew. Wrangler language, systematic schemes to change the brain up, divide and conquer. Mob on them, ride till they lives are contra. Monsters driven by capitalism stimuli can never be too powerful. It makes us all admire you. We'll follow until we fall like falling star from sky. I can't say its impact hasn't hollow walls inside my art. Insane, is it that smart to react dark when facing pain? You ain't that hard, that scarred or that real to go that far for that kill, for that feel on that scale.
It's 6 p.m. again, and I'm tuning in to CNN watching Marines mow down crowds with machine guns. 16 weeks training to tiller the Huns' philosophies. And now they're thinking we won't bring peace to these streets with the same techniques. That shit's hypocrisy. This ain't democracy, it's a survival of the fittest. A country built behind closed doors with God as their witness. Picture this. People can become so blind that their ears can't listen, trying to save their souls with penitentiary religion, superstition, never done unto others but claiming that they're Christian, while God's children are sitting home praying and wishing for answers to their questions. Heard of the Armageddon, wondering what side that we're destined. Life be a war, ain't no time for resting. That's why you give up your 7 to 5 just to stay alive, trying to fuel the fire inside before the God in me has died. Eyes wide, trying to look out through this labyrinth, hoping to leave this earth with the same presence that we came with. Trying to steer my path in opposite directions that mankind went. My soul came spent, I tried to get it back, thinking if my heart stopped then my body could relax. But there's no time to be lax because there's a war all through creation.
Cunnilingus.
God's warriors is dying. And
With
gangsters
America
is replaced.
Loves Gangsters. You're listening. And we're back. The American Voice Podcast. As I gave you the first podcast of American Voice, episode 1, I gave you, unfortunately, one wrong email address, and I apologize for that. I was going to set it up after I did the podcast. Oh, this podcast is about stupid people. Imagine that. Okay. Anyway, and lo and behold, American Voice Podcast was taken in many formats, but I found one way around that format by taking the A out of American. So it's now AMERICN, only one A in American, Voice Podcast at hotmail.com. That's going to be, not only is that going to be our email, American Podcast, American Voice Podcast will have it already does have a Facebook page with both A's, and we will have a website starting this weekend, and I hope that website can be called also American Voice Podcast, which I will embed the episodes so you can go to the website and listen to all the episodes at once. Binge listen if you want to. Right now, you don't give me a binge on 2, so I mean, yeah. They go to last. Usually, I usually make these go to last no more than an hour and 50 plus. I know Americans have a much lesser every year, it seems, attention span. Excuse me. I need a moonshine cherry. I mean a cherry. I didn't say that. Okay. Anyway, subject of this episode: stupidity. Well, where do you start? I mean, look at our TV shows. I'm not like an old timer. I'm 53, so you might put me in that category, but I don't think that I fit that category to the extent of being an old timer. Let's put it that way. I can remember TV shows that actually had substance and intellectual properties. Something you'd watched and you felt even wiser or smarter, or at least entertained in a way that you didn't have to shut your brain down to watch it. If you watch TV now, and if you can find what channel you like out of 650 or so, where you used to have on TV Guide, here are the shows that might be canceled or renewed, was probably, when I was a kid, I don't know, maybe 15 pages long. Each show had each page had like a couple shows on it. So maybe 30 or 40 shows that you were concerned about whether it's going to be renewed or canceled. I went on my Android the other day, and the list was basically about 430 shows long. They're cookie-cutter shows. That's why. They're cookie-cutter shows. Half of them are the same show with a different freaking title. CSI alone has like 8, 9 different fucking titles. I mean, if you like CSI, that's cool, but, damn, I mean, how do you keep track of all this shit? It's insane. But that's because these shows don't even have to be intellectually important. They're not HBO Real Time with Bill Maher. They're not John Oliver on Showtime. They're not Boardwalk. If you watch Boardwalk on Showtime, or if you they're not Walking Dead type of shit on the FX channel. They're two broke gals. Okay, lowbrow, repeated, just old material renewed to a different format on TV, and don't even get me started on what's going on in the theaters. Many people don't even realize that almost 70% of the movies they're watching are remakes. And when they are aware they're remakes, they're just lame-ass efforts, either to make it urban, take something that had 3 white guys in Ghostbusters, make it, 3 females, or make it urban, and instead of, the white characters, now they're black, and that's supposed to make it a different type of show. It's, updated version of the show to make it more mainstream. It's this shit recycled over and over. The Marvel Universe is now opened itself up for the 3rd time in the last 40 years. And this time, they're just going to go full out. They'll find every goddamn villain, every goddamn hero that the DC Comics and Marvel Universe ever discovered, and you're going to see them for the next 20 years. Regurgitated, redone, same shit. In some cases, the same title. And we all line up to watch it. We all line up to watch it. We all bitch about the economy and the rich people and the wealthy getting too much of the percentage of the pie. And then at the same time, we sit there at ballparks paying $9 for a beer and $8 for a hot dog and $50 for a ticket to be about 10 decades away from the fucking field, and and go to concerts and pay $80, $90, $100 to watch a show that you're like in the back end of a stadium, and we pay the money, $6.50 for a ticket and $25 for popcorn and soda pop for a movie of actors, and all these people that I'm talking about having common, actors, athletes, musicians, are just as wealthy, making just as outrageous amounts of cash for what I would consider to be at best a little more effort than corporate bigwigs. And we don't complain about them. Who's stupid? I work in a retail outlet store, and I'm not going to obviously be stupid enough to give the name of it. I don't want to get in trouble. And I'm not going to tell you what town it's in. It's in the Midwest, though. That will give you a little pinpoint accuracy of intelligence level of the retail shopper, because the retail shopper, to me, gives you the best example of how, A, how lazy we become, B, how we have become less intelligent, not in a book smart way, but in just pure simple logic way. And C, just how some people just got under the radar in school. That number, by the way, is pissing me off because it's growing, and nobody's talking about that. We're dishing out more high school graduates that are dumber than any of the graduates before them in the history of our country, and wondering why we have a problem with filling positions that were going to be the new positions of advancement in this country technologically, and why we're going overseas to get our help, and why companies are going overseas to get their assistance from other people. I am at the desk. This is an example. This is I'll give you one classic, just one. And all I should have to do is give you one. Really, just one. I work at a chain store, hardware company, and I work in the building materials department. And I spend most about, I'd say at least 40 to maybe 35 to 40% of my time basically playing Vanna White. What's that mean? It means people come in the store, and as clearly as the aisles can be marked, in some cases, big banners above the lanes, they still will go to a department that has nothing to do with what they're looking for and ask a uniformed individual team member a question about a product that obviously they would never, the person they're talking to working in that department would be like, I don't work in that department. I can help you if I can, and that's my 35 to 40% of the day. Right there. Right there. Vanna White. Here you go. This is where this is at. This is where this is at. And I just put the hands at, and I could just have the little dress on, and I could be Vanna White for 35 to 40% of my day. And I get paid for it, so I'm not pissed off about it. It's fine with me. I mean, most of the shit I do is a lot more labor intensive, so hey, if you want me to spend 15 minutes to show you where the nails are at in the hardware department, that's fine. I can do that. It's just, it's A, lazy, B, undereducated, and C, just basically going through life in this drone state of mind that you know, you have your phone and that's what you look at probably 60% of your day, give you information that, maybe 40% of it's actually true, and I can just go on and fucking on. Good night. I want to keep the rant going toward the guest I had at my desk in the department that takes care of building things. And shingles on a roof, that's what we take care of, sure. And I expect at least a half a dozen to a dozen times a day to be involved with a guest looking to replace, repair, or shingle entirely or shingle over a roof. Yes, part of my job. No problem. This gentleman who walked up to my desk, I assume, by the looks of him, and I can't take that as complete truth or not. I'm not one to overstep my boundaries and assume something, but it seemed like he was working on a job for the owner of a house. So much like you would do at McDonald's, you walk up to the desk and you place your order. I'd like 2 bundles of shingles. Which, in the hardware store sense, is like walking into McDonald's and saying, I'd like a burger. Excuse me. Now, in McDonald's, you probably say, well, give them $2 menu burgers. I don't think you do that. You just say, which burger? On the menu of over 20 plus choices. Which burger would you like to have? So I did the same in my equivalent of waiting for him to say anything else. Didn't. We had several colors. No, it wasn't being a smartass. I don't think that was being a smartass. It was just progressing the conversation, because he sat there for almost over 40 seconds without saying anything after asking for 2 bundles of shingles. And a little info here, and I won't call you stupid for not knowing this, because some people don't. But we're looking at a product that comes in 2 different types and several colors with different warranties, wind resistances, and all that crap. But we won't get involved in that. All I wanted to do was forward the conversation to where I could find out what he really wanted. And as I said, it has several colors. Some stock, some we have to order. His response was, "What colors do you have?" I was fortunate enough, of course, because as any retail outlet has displays, to show them the displays of the 60 plus whatever fucking colors we had, with the clearly marked colors that were what we carried in stock and special order. So this intelligent person proceeded to pull out his phone, which had a broken screen. I wasn't shocked. And spent the next a minute to a minute and a half scrolling up and down the screen. I think he made a call. I'm not sure. He's looking for a contact list or whatever he was doing. And then proceeded after that to look back at me and say, "I've got to get something to eat. I'll be right back." Yeah, I'll be right back, because this person who does this, I think, for a living, I hope not in his case, came to the store to buy a couple bundles of shingles for a roof. He didn't know what the color was. Pause for effect. And this is not like, this is just one example. I can probably give you at least 2 or 3 a day. I can understand some of the deer in headlight effect, because a hardware store is very huge, and if you've never actually had to come in and get stuff for your home, or you're getting stuff your contractor told you to get because he's a lazy motherfucker, whatever. But there has to be some effort on your part to be a part of the conversation when you come into a retail outlet store to buy something, and you expect the person you're talking to know what you want. It's just basic shit. Tying that into something else, even a little tying that into something else, and I stretch the cord a little bit, maybe, but I think it's the same kind of thing I see on my Facebook wall, where I have a whole bunch of, I have 3,800 Facebook friends, in which I would guess the amount of friends that are political would be in the neighborhood of 3,650. And they do their little blog or their little rant, or whatever they want to call it, your blurt, your blab, your blob, your bloop, whatever, get the shit off their mind, hoping, I guess, for likes or comments or whatever they're looking for. Some people just want comments so they can tell you the people who commented on either very intelligent or you're a dumbass. Some people just like the likes because little thumbs up is cool for them. It makes their life better, I guess. Anyways, but they do these things on their Facebook page, and they on the wall that comes onto my wall, because that's what you want to do. Is you do that. You post to get attention. And I would say out of the wall pages that I've read in the last 3 months, maybe 8% is relevant. +40% is just repeated shit. I saw this guy say this. I'm gonna do my different version of what he said, and it makes me smart. It makes me think it's important. I don't know. Original ideas, original actual opinions come across at a pace of about 6%. 600 of the comments I see on a Facebook wall page, I might consider something that I would have said, or something that I think is important enough to share or comment on. So if you're wondering why I have Ken Woodward, I know he's got his podcast. He's very political. He's got this American Voice podcast. He's never commented on my shit. Well, there you go. It's shit. That's why. It's somebody else's shit. Don't comment somebody else's shit, folks, on your Facebook wall. But don't repeat what somebody else says in your own words. You're not impressing anybody, and it sounds generic most of the time anyway to me. I want actual opinions, and that's what I want on this podcast, is actual opinions. So if you're going to do your podcast, I'm going to give you this 40 to 60-minute podcast, and you come on repeating too many quotes or basically saying the same shit I see on my Facebook wall all day long, I don't need it. I can read that all day long. It's there all day long. It's the memes and all that crap. That's fantastic to read if I'm bored. I want originality, and that's what you're going to have to strive for here. You want it on this podcast, it's got to be original. It's got to be you. It's got to be your opinions. And I can tell when someone's telling me opinions and someone's telling me bullshit. So it's just, Anyways, when we continue on the Frankless, the Frankless podcast. The Frankless podcast. More music, and after that, some... Now, this was, I said this is going to be kind of me showing you how it's done. I gave an intro, 15, this one 20, 25 minutes. It is my first half of my rant. I'm going to play some music and give you the second half of my rant, which will be more current political viewpoints. Opinion viewpoints I give. Free of charge, by the way.
Hooliganism. Armed gangs of youths have taken to the streets.
It's like bloody culture, really.
Looting shops and abandoned...
With shocking it's pathetic. Every change is a good change. Especially after the government has been in power for some time.
I like England just fine, but I ain't eating any of that beef.
Scoot up your face, cause you girly like the taste. You're infected by that tease, political. So your dirty, guilty brains make your body smell of mace. So devotion your slick mink, political. Yes, it's fucking political. Everything's political. Yes, it's fucking satirical. Everything's satirical. Yes, it's fucking political. Everything's political. And the one was like to hide as a dirty priest confides in a lava baby horse. Political. Negative are all your views, so you can prop up your fake cool. A puppet all the same. Political. Yes, it's fucking political. Everything's political. Yes, it's fucking satirical. Everything's satirical. Yes, it's fucking political. Everything's political.
Skunkanesia, everything's fucking legal. What the fuck is Skunkanesia? I don't know. Anyways, you're listening to American Voice Podcast.
And
Enjoy
finally,
the shit.
new rule, just because a
Please.
country elects a smart president
Subscribe.
doesn't make it a
Sorry,
smart
what?
country.
Follow.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was asked on CNN if I thought Sarah Palin could get elected president, and I said I hope not, but I wouldn't put anything past this stupid country. Well, the station was flooded with emails, and the twits hit the fan. And you could tell these people were really mad because they wrote entirely in capital letters. Worst of all, Bill O'Reilly refuted my contention that this is a stupid country by calling me a pinhead. Which, A, proves my point. And B, is really funny coming from a duty face like him. Now, before I go about demonstrating how, sadly, easy it is to prove the dumbness that is dragging us down, let me just say that ignorance has life and death consequences. On the eve of the Iraq War, 70% of Americans thought Saddam Hussein was personally involved in 9/11. 6 years later, 34% still do. Or look at the health care debate going on now. At a recent town hall meeting in South Carolina, a man stood up and told his congressman to keep your government hands off my Medicare. Which is kind of like driving cross-country to protest highways. This country is like a college chick after 2 Long Island iced teas. We can be talked into anything, like wars, and we can be talked out of anything, like health care. We should forget the town halls and replace them with study halls. Listen to some of these statistics. A majority of Americans cannot name a single branch of government or explain what the Bill of Rights is. 24% could not name the country America fought in the Revolutionary War. More than 2/3 of Americans don't know what's in Roe versus Wade. 2/3 don't know what the Food and Drug Administration does. Some of this stuff you should be able to pick up simply by being alive. You know the way the Slumdog Kid knew about cricket? But not here. Nearly half of Americans don't know that states have 2 senators. And more than half can't name their congressman. And among Republican governors, only 3 got their wife's name right on the first try. Those are bridge too far. People bitch and moan about taxes and spending. They have no idea what their government spends money on. The average voter thinks foreign aid consumes 24% of our federal budget. It's actually less than 1%. A third of Republicans believe Obama is not a citizen. And a third of Democrats believe that George Bush had prior knowledge of the 9/11 attacks, which is an absurd sentence because it contains the words Bush and knowledge. Sleep tight, batshit. Sarah Palin says she would never apologize for America, even though a Gallup poll says 18% of us think the sun revolves around the earth. No, they're not stupid. They're interplanetary mavericks. And I haven't even brought up religion. But here's one fun fact I'll leave you with. Did you know only about half of Americans are aware that Judaism is an older religion than Christianity? That's right. Half of America looks at books called the Old Testament and the New Testament and cannot figure out which one came first. I rest my
Politically,
case.
intellectually, religiously, in many variables. And by the way, it is the ignorance of religion that probably vexes me the most in stupidity level. I'm not going to call religious people stupid. That would be not only an unfair, but very unkind and harsh remark to make. And I'm not going, because, sometimes it's what your mom and dad teach you that stays with you almost your entire life. And religious being a self-taught, almost a parental kind of, what's the word here, handed down thing. That's not your fault if your parents did their job the way the Catholic Church and Christians and Protestants and all that wanted them to do, that you would grow up believing in God and all that. It doesn't make you stupid. It makes you someone who has learned from growing up. So I was distracted as Frank has come on and said we're going to do some work tomorrow. So I'll give him a little quick quo pro on what I talked about tonight, and we will have me and Frank discussing that. Should be interesting as part of this podcast. So this podcast is most likely not going to be released for a couple of days. I'm looking at probably Thursday night, tomorrow night, 24th or 25th. Pardon me, 25th. Just for your knowledge. Anyways, backing train back up, backing train back up. Choo 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 choo. Okay. Anyways, so religion. I'm not going to call religion stupid. I'm going to call religion inherited. Is a word that I kind of lean toward. Inherited. You're taught by your parents or elder people that you respect, and it becomes part of your mantra, so to speak, and you're comfortable with it. And so it doesn't make you stupid. It just makes you a comfortable, numbed up person who has the luxury, he believes, of having an explanation for everything. That's not calling you stupid. It's just calling you a drone. Basically, I don't know. That's just let me say. Is it wrong to believe you have knowledge of things that there's no way you can have knowledge of? No, it's not wrong. It's not right either. It's not smart or stupid. It's inherited, handed down from generation to generation, which a lot of our country's holidays and beliefs and substance is all handed down, a lot of it, generation to generation. So there's nothing wrong with that. I can't call that stupid. That would be me being stupid to do that. But a lot of what religion teaches you could be classified as, at best, illogical, at worst, stupid. I have not the answers to everything, though. I cannot confirm nor deny the existence of other beings, other either interplanetary or above the sky in Old Testament or New Testament or whatever testament you want to, pay attention to. I can't do that. I'm not going to be as naive to say I can say without a doubt there's no God. How's that? That's the best definition of agnostic from the atheist you're going to get. So there. I'm not going to cover religion that in depth because it would be an entire podcast if you wanted my ideas on religion. As I'm just giving to you my ideas on religion as far as the topic of the day being stupidity. So about that being said, we can move on to other news. We've covered stupidity for the day. Class, you can now put down your number 2 pencil and pick up your
century began.
Brain.
Human evolution was at a turning point. Natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest, A process which had once favored the noblest traits of man now began to favor different traits. Most science fiction of the day predicted a future that was more civilized and more intelligent. But as time went on, things seemed to be heading in the opposite direction, a dumbing down. How did this happen? Evolution does not necessarily reward intelligence. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent.
I'm your ice cream man. Look out for my ice cream man. I'm your ice cream man, so you better look out for me. I just got parole. I'm just 25 years old. I'm your ice cream man, so you better look out for me. I know the speed limit, but I can't drive within it. I may scare your children, but just be glad I haven't killed them. I'm your ice cream man. Look out for my ice cream man. I'm your ice cream man, and I look out for you. I hate ice cream chimes. They sound like fucking nursery rhymes. I'm your ice cream man, and I play Motley Crue. I'm your ice cream man. Look out for my ice cream man. I'm your ice cream man, so you better look out for me. I just got parole. I'm just 25 years old. I'm your ice cream man, so you better look out for me. H-E-N-R-Y, you better look out for me. Said you better look out for me. I said you better look out for me.
Alright, mate. That was Zombie Seconds. Ice Cream Man. Yo, I'm sorry. I gotta get fucking drunk. Last part of my rant.
Take it easy,
to start
mate.
This podcast. What's in the news currently? I think as we're watching here, the Trump campaign decline, and basically you're watching people that were in charge of the beginning of his campaign drop out. There's a reason for that. It's very easy. The reason for that. Trump's still being Trump. The brief effort he made in front of the American flags during his primary campaigns to look presidential and to appeal to a mass of people who might actually consider him as a presidential candidate gave way to a more just Trump making headlines, as he likes to do. And you have his daughter now on the defense. You have, him on the offense. The immigration situation, which seems to continually dissolve and evolve and redissolve and evolve again. It's more classic examples of how this person has no desire. I think he never had a desire to become president of the United States. His desire was to get a little revenge upon some of the party which he felt shunned him, and to he's very thin-skinned. If you haven't noticed that, you should. Ask Rosie O'Donnell how thin-skinned he is, and you'll see. He's very thin-skinned. He enjoys the spotlight for someone who's so thin-skinned. At the same time, he's quickly turned to I wouldn't call it high school behavior. I probably would call it high school behavior. There's kind of high school behavior attitude that he has. The name calling doesn't. He's not below name calling. He's not below hitting below the belt. He's definitely a mudslinging politician to the best possible example you can get in the last 15 years. He is basically Donald Trump. And if you vote for Donald Trump, this is the person you're going to see as president. So I hope you keep that in mind when you do. He's not going to change and become a president when you vote for him. If he becomes elected, he's not going to change and become suddenly this calm, astute political voice of America. He's going to be an example of just how fucked up our country is and how stupid we are. So if you like that, I guess you can, stay the course if you're going to vote for Donald. Your alternative is Hillary, who is going to give you a false sense of security. It's so obvious to see. And it's upsetting when it's obvious to see. Because again, I would go back to the beginning of the show, the stupidity level of our country to believe that Hillary's going to come in and give us all a raise. She's going to get everybody start out at least $15 an hour. And she's going to give free college tuition to people who make less than $250,000 a year. And she's going to improve the Obama plan, Obamacare, and she's going to make our status in this world more respectable. Hasn't really followed Hillary Clinton as a senator or secretary of state in the last 12 years. First off, the first red flag would be when you're looking at a politician who is promising the American worker a fair wage and actually giving them a number on that wage, is how close are they to the corporate beings that are in charge of that pay scale. Because if they're really tied closely to them, you can understand a little bit of hesitation when I actually believe that that's going to make everything better. Yeah, we're all going to make more money, and that's going to solve the whole fucking problem. Kind of the same kind of thinking as we're going to print more money out and give it out, and that's going to solve the problem. We're going to make a stimulus package and send people free money, and that's going to solve the problem. Or we're going to give corporations big tax breaks for hiring American and giving higher wages, and that's going to solve the problem. The thing that ties all this shit together is what? Big money corporations, the wealthy, who pay the American worker, who have people who work endless hours, countless hours, for wages that are probably 1/10 of theirs, 1/5 of theirs. 1/10, 1/20, maybe 1/100th of theirs in some cases. Their job is one thing: crunch numbers. If you want to know a little bit of basic wealth economics and how corporations make money, it's crunching numbers. And that's a phrase you'll hear constantly in one form or another on how they make their profits. They crunch numbers. So if you give the corporations a number that their minimum wage paid employees is going to make, what do you think they're going to do with that number? Well, you ever see that little Monty Python opening where you see the old sausage go in there and people go in, the sausage comes out? It's kind of like that. They're going to put the numbers in there, wind a little winder, and it comes out the other side, and it's going to be the same profit they were making before because they're going to crunch the numbers. They're going to make $15 an hour work for them by doing little things that nobody will notice. If they're lucky, they're going to increase their prices. Yes. They're going to cut their workforce. Yes. They're going to make the $15 an hour that you eventually come to make 3 years down the road from the passing of the bill that Hillary is so for, that she was not for before Bernie, now is for, because she knows the period of time it's going to take to get the American minimum wage raised to 15, which will not be done right away, will be done in increments, will, by the time we get there, be nothing more than an adjustment made on the other side of the ledger. Where's the other side of the ledger? The other side of the ledger is big corporate business. They'll find a way to make us feel like we have more money in our pockets while we're still spending the same percentage of our income towards everything. Rich but not richer. Or richer but not rich. Pardon me. Richer but not rich. More money in our pocket. There are countries that have gone down the fucking drain doing that. Greece comes to mind. People who thought we have shitloads of buckets of money, and it all happens as the buckets of money are worth the same as the little money that you had in your wallet earlier. It's just the adjustments are made. You think you do have more money in your pocket. I'm not going to argue with that. I can't argue that. Back to square one in the podcast, stupidity. Yes, you have more money in your pocket. Does that make you richer? Only if that money can actually purchase more stuff than you could purchase before. If your dollar bill has more purchasing power, if you're actually able to take care of yourself better, you can handle medical mishaps, and you can handle the stress, everyday life events that occur better. Yes, your dollar is stretching farther, and you are making more, but you're not going to. The bread that costs you $1.99 a loaf will now cost you $3.99 a loaf. Just means you have more money in your pocket. It's that bullshit Greece thing where talk about the Philippines. I was stationed in the Philippines in 1983. Not stationed there, but I visited there as being stationed on an aircraft carrier, and was like felt rich as shit because my $1 or my $10 or so could buy me 300 pesos, and yes, everything was cheaper over there. Then we went to Singapore and thought the same thing was going to happen, and when currency exchange turned out to be, we were spending even more money on beer and going out if we were in America. Every country's different, but the major thing with many countries is the false impression they can give their people by giving them more bills. The more in your pocket, the richer you must be. That's not the case if it was just one frickin' piece of paper and you looked at it looked different because holy shit, I'm not making shit. But there's that, again, going back to that stupidity thing. I've got more bills in my pocket. I've got more money now. I'm making more money than I was making 3 years ago. Oh my God, twice as much in some cases for the minimum wage people. And you're thinking your life's going to turn around. It's all going to be fantastic now. And then you still find yourself having trouble. And who you blame? You're going to blame the government. The government has shit to do with the problems in this country. If you think the government is the reason why you're poor, if you think the government's the reason why your roads aren't fixed, if you think the government's the reason why you have to scrape and claw and everybody else gets breaks and the rich people get breaks, and you think the government's the reason why we got all these military wars going on, if you think the government's responsible for all this shit, then you haven't been paying attention. You've missed the bouncing ball that was going over the big fat letters that says the fucking government isn't the problem. But it's like the big fat wads of bill you're going to have soon in your wallet, making you think you're richer. Distraction is the best method for the true enemy that exists. They can keep you pissed off at the president. They can keep you pissed off at your Congress. You forget, or you don't pay attention, or you don't know the true enemy. The enemy is the rich, the wealthy, The guy who signs your fucking check, not the government that allows you to cash it, the guy who signs your fucking check. And he just loves the fact that you'll sit there hours upon hours and we'll have all these discussions and all these debates that are about to come up and all these political candidates' opinions, and you thinking, we'll get this person and they're going to change shit. Ain't shit going to change until we change what's happening in this country from the top down. Not the bottom up, the top down. They control everything. They control our media. They control what we can see. They control the news we watch. They control everything. We are slaves to everything that they put out. Wall Street is nothing more than one big old fat wallet that the fucking rich and wealthy can pick up at the end of every day. Ain't nobody getting rich on Wall Street but the rich. You can watch your freaking trading places crap and think that's really the reality. It's not. But they have this big advantage because they can make us think that we can change things by changing the government. The government's changed. The government's changed at least 6 or 7 times over the course of the last 3 decades. Has it changed the situation we're in? No, because the government's not the problem. Now you may say, well, wait, but the government can tax the rich. They can make them pay their fair share. They can raise the minimum wage. They can force them to stop hiring overseas and all that crap. The bottom line is not really, because guess what? Come full circle. Who controls the government? Not the government. The government's controlled by rich people. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, DuPonts, the Bushes. They control the government. We get pissed at the government and we vent, but nonetheless, no matter what happens, they don't have to worry because it's all pushed at the government. It's all their damn fault, and the rich people just keep getting richer and just smile and laugh all the way to the bank. Bernie is right in this regard. It's going to take a political revolution. Not just a political revolution in the point of changing the people who are in charge of our government, but a political revolution in the means that we need to start taking back our place in this country as far as consumers are going. And what's that mean? Well, it's the stuff we always talk about. You see it. You saw it back in the 60s and the 70s. You boycotted the assholes you didn't like. You didn't buy their products. You went someplace else to get shit. If you thought somebody was mistreating their employees, you didn't go there to shop. You didn't. But they disguised it so much that you don't even realize it most of the time. You're probably purchasing products from companies that fuck their employees over like motherfuckers. You don't even know it because you can't. You get online, you're getting information from the corporate-owned internet, and you can't figure out who the fuck am I buying from that's being right and who the fuck am I buying from that's being assholes. It's an endless cycle that it's just, how do you stop it? Well, yes, you need to get people in Congress who actually give a fuck about you, what you believe in. You need to make sure the process that they're elected by is fair. The Electoral College is a complete waste. It is well past its time. It only works for only one group of people, the people who make it work for them, the rich. See, you have to start boycotting companies that send jobs overseas. Don't just say you think it's wrong. Show them you know it's wrong. Hurt them where it only they will respond to, and that's their bottom line. The numbers crunchers can't take away, can't get profits back from people who stop giving them profits. They have to make a response, and the logical response will be to make it work for both sides. But it's going to be a give and take and stretch. But a long process, yes, but one worth pursuing indeed. Do not go to Walmart if you think Walmart's an asshole to their fucking employees. Don't go, don't go to companies that are jerks. Are mistreating their employees and underpaying them. Fuck the minimum wage being changed. Start changing their bottom line. That changes the minimum wage. But hence lies the problem. Organizing. Well, let's get into organizing, because Bernie showed us that it can be done. But I think Bernie showed us that even when it's done right and done strongly, it fails. Henceforth, you saw Bernie in front of 60,000+ people all over the country, waving their Bernie signs and wearing the T-shirts, wearing the hats. Where were the votes when it came time for the primaries? Where were the fucking votes? And this is the argument that a lot of Bernie supporters make that I don't completely agree with, as far as how he lost the nomination to Hillary. I gave my little spiel about 5 months ago, about how the electoral process was rigged toward Hillary, how she had all these southern states having their primaries first, and it gave her this seemingly insurmountable lead, not only electorally but popular vote. But I'm not going to side all the way on that one with the Bernie supporters. The argument being that she wouldn't fair and square. She won. She had more votes. Even without the Electoral College, she had more votes than Bernie had. That's democracy, folks. Was some of the votes swayed because of the early southern state primaries giving this big lead? Yeah. Were some of the votes swayed because the DNC used tactics against one of their own nominees, which they should not have done? Immoral conduct on their part? Yeah. Some of all these events have swayed people who otherwise would have voted to vote? Yeah. Was the fact that Bernie came in a little later in the game than he should have, after some independents had already registered as independents, making them unable to vote for him as Democrat? Yeah. Would that have changed the result? No. So in that regard, we can go into she won it fair and square. Well, she won it fair and square, but she used tactics she didn't need to, which I don't know if you cheat. It's like you're taking a math test. You know the answers, but you want to cheat to get all the answers. Does it make you a cheater? Yeah, it does. But you would have won anyway. You would have passed the test anyway. So what does it exactly make you, I guess? I think it tells you a little bit about your personality, about how you would lead. I think that's the thing we can take from Hillary, is that she's not just happy with winning. She wants to make sure there's no chance in fucking hell that she's going to lose. I don't think it's a negative trait, but I will not put that in the classification as a positive trait. It's a trait that's a little bit disturbing for someone who's going to lead the greatest nation in our world. It's a little bit disconcerting. Choo the train back a little bit again. We've gone too far forward. What the discussion was about who runs this country. And if you think the government runs this country, good for you. You watch a lot of MSNBC, Fox News, and the internet, MSN News on the internet, and it's great for you. If you don't want to pay attention to the people who actually have something to say, otherwise, the other side of the coin, so to speak, if you choose not to, that's your choice. I mean, Vice versa, if you choose to believe only in Young Turks and Politico and this podcast and think that the other news is bullshit, that it's the same side of the coin but different flipped version. That's fine too. What you need to do? What do you need to do to be informed? That's the last part of this rant. My little 40-minute podcast. Like I said, this is what you're going to get. This is what you get to do, uninterrupted, and have a common thread to it, like I'm doing, and that's how you make your podcast. Advertise it in the middle of my podcast. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, no, it's fine. It's fine to have a perplexing situation. It's fine to have I'll give it this much, an excuse that well, how do I know who's telling the fucking truth? Well, absolutely, that's a logical conclusion to come to. I mean, I just told you that what you read in the paper, those journalists are owned by corporate moguls. Rupert Murdoch owns Fox News. What you see on his news program on TV is what he wants you to see. MSNBC has the same kind of moguls. I don't know what their names are, but I can tell you that they're probably the same type. A multi-billionaire, someone who's very rich, who wants you to hear what he wants you to hear or she wants you to hear. And you get on the internet and think, well, skip that shit. I'll just go to the internet. Everything on the internet's true, right? Fuck no. So you can't go on the internet. You don't know what sites to get on the internet to find the truth. You become one of those people who try to join the Illuminati or Anonymous and think these groups are outside the circle, so they actually going to give you the truth, but you don't know that for sure because it's the internet and you don't know what the fuck. So here's my solution. It sounds stupid, I'm sure. Talk to people. Don't just watch the news. Don't just read the paper. Don't just go on the internet and Google shit. Talk to actual people. Now, not all of them, as I just said the earlier beginning of this podcast, are the smartest guns on the rifle shelf. Probably a bad acronym, but anyway. But you're going to find some people who actually have opinions and ideas and considerations that make sense to you, and you listen to them. And you group with them. And you all get together, and you all start investigating. You all work as a team, and you sift for all the bullshit that's out there, because some of it's got to be true. Some of the things on TV have to be true. Some of the things on the internet have to be true. Some of the things that you read in the paper have to be true. Well, obviously the local news and the front page news is hopefully true. But I hope you know where I'm going with this. That you have to sift through the bullshit and decide for yourself what is the bullshit, the deep bullshit at the bottom, the crusty bullshit that's on top, the real things that are happening, and the conspiracy theories and the wacko shit on top, the very top layer. Find that middle layer. That's what you got to do. And that's what this podcast, I hope, will do. By listening to different opinions, different people who are influenced by different things, yes. But if you come on this podcast and you give me your true opinion, you don't quote a whole bunch of freaking sources. This is not a theorist. This is not a, what's the word again? Oh, it's been so long since college. It's not a fucking college paper. It's not something you're going to be graded on. Don't impress. Don't try to impress me with facts, figures, and all that stuff unless they really mold the conversation you're trying to put forth together and give you a kind of a stepping stones to get people to understand where you're coming from. I'm not going to be impressed if you know who the 16th president of the United States was. Is that Franklin Roosevelt? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm not going to be impressed by that. I'm impressed by a podcast that gives current events and past events, opinions, pop culture. You can go there as well. What's good, what's bad, what I hate, what I love. Just be true to your opinion. And, and don't take criticism badly. It's a bad way of saying that. Don't be disappointed in criticism. Embrace criticism, because that's what really causes truly podcasts that people should want to listen to. I don't want to listen to me and Frank saying, "Great job, loved everything you said." And they like that. They used to be watching fucking TV. Two broke girls again. Big Bang Theory. Intelligent humor. Anyway, this is going to be a shorter one than I was wanting to do. I wanted to do about 40, but I think that tomorrow, guess what? You get a twofer, because tomorrow we're going to have episode 3. It'll be me and Frank. Kind of going over his opinion of what I said tonight. I hope he listens to it, the podcast tonight. And again, I'm going to keep advertising this podcast email address, and the reason I'm going to keep saying it is I want people to send in their podcast, their little mini podcast. Makes this show, will make this show or break this show. If you just listen, and especially if you just listen and don't follow, Christ's sake, it's a simple button there. It's on the fucking bottom of the right-hand corner of the screen, I think. And I don't even, if you're pissed off because it means you might get some, emails that you don't want. Shit, I get 100 emails a day I don't want. Fuck, Jesus. Give me 500 follows and I can make you, and not only a person who's on a podcast that's being broadcast on Spreaker.com, but it's on a podcast that's on Roku, where you punch in iHeartRadio. There's the show, and now you're just being listened to by 68, 70 people, listened to by 600,000 or so people. Interested yet? Now, does it happen overnight? Howard Stern didn't happen overnight. For Christ's sake, Howard Stern was putting farts into a speaker before he happened overnight. This ain't farts into a speaker. This is political relevant shit going on here, dudes. Join in.
I died in the rain, came alive in your hands. Thought I'd live forever as a dead man. Died in the rain, came alive in your hands. Thought I'd live forever as a dead man. It wasn't your words that wound me, nor the ache in your bones that soothed me. Something in your touch woke an antique. You blew the dust off when you kissed my cheek. There on the sidewalk, my clothes were soaking wet. My hair was in my face, cause my ghostly stare. Yeah, I died in the rain, came alive in your hands. Thought I'd live forever as a dead man. You blew my cover, but that was alright. I needed a fresh start, a new life. The bullet took my breath, only for a while. I rose back into your arms. I died in the rain, came alive in your hands. Thought I'd live forever as a dead man. I died in the rain, came alive in your hands. Thought I'd live forever as a dead man.
rose back into your arms. I rose back into your arms.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Whenever life gets you down, keeps you wearing a frown, and the gravy train has left you behind. And when you're all out of hope, down at the end of your rope, and nobody's there to throw you a line. If you ever get so low that you don't know which way to go, come on and take a walk in my shoes. Never worry about a thing, got the world on a string, 'cause I've got the cure for all of my blues. All of his blues. I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start a-melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. I gotta sing and I dance when I glance in my pants, and the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way. Penis up and everybody! I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start a-melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. Yeah, I got great big amounts in the place where it counts, and the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way. My trouser monster, everything is going my way. My meat is burner, everything is going my way.
Size doesn't matter.
Everything is going my way.
And that was the Bob and Tom Show. Called Enormous Penis. Or if you look at it another direction, you're a woman. Ha! 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 And this is the American Voice Podcast, dudes. Oh, what's up? Oh, shit. So this is the part where I rebut what I just said. I'm not going to rebut. I'll use a negative or positive response, which either me, myself, or Frank himself, or me and Frank would give you at this point. And if your podcast was good, it's obviously on. We're not just going to post every podcast that come on our email. You have to be good. And I don't give a fuck if it takes us a month, 2 months, 3 months to find a good podcast before we start doing this shit. I'm not going to put something on here that's half-ass or fucking some stoner or some drunk motherfucker trying to be coherent for 40 minutes. Okay? Let's assume you actually put together a very good presentation, a great podcast, and you had something to say, and you had opinions, and you had a very good subject matter, and you did a good job. This is the point where we say what we think, and if it was political, very quickly we can go right into a political response on it. If it wasn't, we will either try to make it something we can, the equivalent political thing of it, or we will comment on the pop culture part of it. You know, whichever one works. It's starting to storm. Sorry, I got freaked there for a second. Live on record here, and then we'll have our little discussion. which will probably last roughly the same amount as the time as your podcast did. Because me and Frank, when we get talking and we stay on the subject, we'll be happily surprised there, but hopefully we will. And then you will have the opportunity to have the last word. And I'm not going to give you a time limit on the last word. Most people respond to criticism either in two ways, well, obviously, positively or negatively. And regarding which way it goes, we'll probably give you how much response time you want to have. So that's how this will work. I hope you've enjoyed all the music I'm giving you. It's some of it's just groups that are just trying to get playtime, and I'm more than happy to give it to them. The music to me sounds. If I like the song, I'm going to play it, and I hope you've enjoyed those. And pass them on. Give them some play. Tell people, hey, I heard this group. This is what their name is, and the site you can go on is I think it's called the royalty-free. I'll give you that website for tomorrow. I'll give you that website tomorrow so you know what it is. You can get them there, and all they do is punch in the search box whatever groups they liked, and I'm going to give you after each song. I hope I've given you who they were and with the name and title, track, and all that crap. Anyways, like I said, we're going to have another podcast tomorrow, so I don't have to squish everything in this time. It took me a good 2.5 days to post this to all the groups that I have right now, and I'd say at least 60% of, maybe 70%. No, I wouldn't go 70, 65. Let's go 65%. We're pro Bernie Facebook group pages, and I hope I haven't offended you with the comments I made earlier about Bernie. I love Bernie. I think I made that very clear in the first episode. I donated and followed and supported Bernie. And I still do. It's not going to stop now. He's still a senator, and the Congress is going to make a difference. And his policies certainly made a big difference in the Democratic platform that Hillary's running on, even though I think a majority of that's going to be something she'll find a way around, again, because I know who she's tied to, big corporate. And I can't vote for Hillary because of that. And as I said earlier, very earlier in my podcast, almost a year ago, I actually said in my podcast, I will never vote for Hillary Rodham Clinton. I said that. I stick to that. Not you think I'm going to vote for Hillary. If you actually believe after making that statement over a year ago, there's anything that's happened to change my mind on that. If anything, since Bernie popped on the scene, even more so, I'm not voting for Hillary. I'm voting for Jill Stein. You make your choices. I'm making mine. Hey, there's your slogan. You make your choices. I'm making mine. But in 2016, it's Jill Stein. There you go. Could be a campaigner. Might try. Still early enough to try. Be a campaigner in Illinois for Jill Stein. But anyways, as I was choo-choo back again, the train always goes too forward with me. I always try to jump too much to other shit. So you hear me say choo-choo back, I realize that I've gotten off the track of what I was talking about. And what I was talking about is you do this podcast, you get on this podcast, this is the part where you're going to get a rebuttal, and positive or negative, and then you're going to get the last word. And it can last, don't make it last 6 hours. I mean, I'm not going to be able to do 6 hours. I hope that what you would be is a sane version of a reply and last word would be the same as the amount of time you spent on your podcast. Maybe even a little less than that. Probably more cases, about half that would work out well. And end it with a nice, bold statement. And again, if you have some music groups you want some songs on, you put it in your podcast, you put it in your final statement, it's going to get played. Just make sure it's not copyrighted. The mistake I made earlier in my podcast is playing a lot of copyrighted music, which now I regret because I can't really even try to put that on iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio, by the way, we're going to have to, again, tone down the words like motherfucker and fuck. Might have to come out. But till I get the 500 followers, which right now I'm at 8. not a concern. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope my rants and my mumbling on has made some sense to you. I hope that if you have some opinions about what I've said, that you respond by doing your own podcast and putting it on this show. Hey, you can do your own podcast and get on Spreaker.com and do it. Yes, you can. And if you get enough friends, you probably get more hits than me. But if we pool our resources together under one umbrella podcast, we can grow much faster. This has been Ken Woodward, minus Frank Foster Jr. Tomorrow, episode 3 will be plus Frank Foster Jr. Hey, and I'd love episode 4 to be you, the person listening right now. Give us your 2 cents, or at least a nickel and a quarter, or a quarter, and a penny and a quarter. I got to go. Music. Play.
Don't need to live forever, don't need superpower. Pushing the button every second, minute, hour. Don't need a magic pill to medicate. No counting candles on my birthday cake. All my brothers and my sisters, let me hear you say yeah. Yeah, yeah. You could be super cool, super mean, somebody from television. Yeah, yeah. Could be my mate, Steve, James Dean, astronaut, politician. It doesn't matter, 'cause everybody loves you when you're dead. Yeah, yeah. Everybody loves you when you're dead. Yeah, yeah. Everybody loves you when you're dreaming that you're living like a superhero. Now you're invincible, but you're not even here. Don't need to worry about a heart attack, 'cause it's a memory that'll bring you back. Oh, my brothers and my sisters, let me hear you say yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, my brothers and my sisters, let me hear you say yeah. Yeah, yeah. You could be super cool, super mean, somebody from television. Yeah, yeah. Could be my mate, Steve, James Dean, astronaut, politician. It doesn't matter, 'cause everybody loves you when you're dead. Yeah, yeah. Everybody loves you when you're dead. Yeah, yeah. Everybody loves you when you're dead. Yeah, yeah. And I gotta tell you something nobody will tell you. Everybody loves you when you're dead. You could be super cool, super mean. You could be super cool, super mean. Could be my mate, Steve, James Dean. Could be my mate, Steve, James Dean. You could be super cool, super mean, somebody from television. Yeah, yeah. Could be my mate, Steve, James Dean, astronaut, politician. It doesn't matter, 'cause everybody loves you when you're super cool, super mean, somebody from television. Yeah, yeah. You could be my mate, Steve, James Dean, astronaut, politician. It doesn't matter, 'cause everybody loves you when you're dead. Yeah, yeah. Everybody loves you when you're dead. Yeah, yeah. Everybody loves you when you're dead. Yeah, yeah. And I gotta tell you something nobody will tell you. Everybody loves you when you're dead.
Don't ever call me stupid.
And we'll send you away with this song here now. Feel free to sing along if you know it. Oh, tonight I sing my songs again in a brand new way. I know this show must go on, even though my baby left today. Caught out with some other cat. Well, I just got the news. If I don't rock it, sing right well. Now you know the reason why. I'm just a broken-hearted man. I've got nothing left to lose. If I don't rock it, chalk it up to the blues. When I've lost on my rhythm, I can't find a way to leave the lonely blues behind. Going crazy trying to get the woman out my mind, mind, mind. Tonight I sing my songs again in a brand new way. I know this show must go on, even though my baby left today. Thought I wear some watches, got the news. If I don't rock it, rock it, rock it, rock it, yeah! My misery, I've lost the beat and I'm completely bluer than the rolling sea. When I lost my baby girl, also loved my music. Yes, I did. If I don't rock it, chalk it up to the blues. When I've lost my rhythm, I can't find a way to leave the lonely blues behind. Going crazy trying to get the woman out of my mind. Don't let her sing the songs again. In a brand new way. I know this show must go on, even though my baby left today. Cause I wear some other cat who I just got those new. If I don't rock it, chalk it up to the blues. If I don't rock it, chalk it up to the blues. If I don't rock it, chalk it up to the blues.
Illinois Nazis. I hate
Born in my own hospital, a great hospital, the best you could imagine. Delivered by the doctor that I bought. And he thanked me. He said, Donald, thank you. This is terrific. I bought at least a couple wives. 3 highest paid women in America. But the third one doesn't speak English just right. And she's great. I see her on holidays. Terrific. Now this country needs a good, strong leader. I'm real busy, but I may just have the time. If I let you elect the Trumpster, you're welcome. I'm a great leader and I can't read. We're being raped by the Chinese. I'll make these China dogs my bitches. I'm the filthy richest. Need a hero that'll come help. I'll sell America to myself. I'll build used highways and some bridges. I'm the filthy richest. I want to make this country great. Right now we're not great, but the Mexicans keep coming here to rape. And by the way, at least rape in English. I'll build a wall no one could climb. No one will climb this wall. And the Spigs could rape on their own fucking side. Mexico is the new China. Now I'm seeing people talk about Trumpster, saying things that quite frankly aren't nice. When I'm in charge of our nuclear program, you're all bound and fired. I'm a great leader and I can't read. We're being raped by the Chinese. I'll make these China dogs my bitches. I'm the filthy richest. Need a hero that'll come help. I'll sell America to myself. I'll build used highways and some bridges. I'm the filthy richest. We're losing. It's a catastrophe. I'll negotiate a better deal. I'll do a good job. We need a leader prez that'll get us out of our debt, help the people get lower wig prices. We need a leader prez that'll get us rid of ISIS, rip them all to shreds, fucking towel heads. We need a leader prez that'll get us driving hybrids, give us all some bread with the side of Pez, and tell the Mexicans and all the illegal migrants you gotta get a license.
be real.